Hello YouTube and welcome to another video. So in this video we will be covering some Ever After High games that I have on my phone but are no longer available in the App Store. So I recently got a new phone and I was thinking that before I do, I should show you these games. I have now gotten a new phone and these games still work on my new phone as well, just so you know. So they do work on the later iOS as well, but none of them are available on the App Store anymore. If you look for Ever After High on the App Store, you can't see any of those games there. They're not there. And I think I saw a video by someone ages ago calling one of these games Lost Media. And I saw that and I was like, hey, I have all of these games. So we're starting with Ever After High Charmed Style. For all of these games, I am using the base version. I am not paying for any of the in-app purchases in the game. I'm not using any microtransactions, so you can only see what the game is like when it's free. I'll say is like because these games still do work even if they're no longer available. So if you open the Ever After High Charmed Style app, this is the video that plays. I'm not sure how well YouTube would handle the copyrighted music, so just in case, I'm just gonna talk over it. Ever After High Charmed Style is very much a classic sort of styling game, a classic makeup game. It does have this magical mirror aspect as well, which wanted access to my microphone and my camera, and I didn't really feel like giving it this access. Maybe I was just being a little too cautious, but I didn't feel like doing that part and giving it access to my camera. So we're not gonna see what happens in the magical mirror, but you can style the characters. Pay no attention to the stylings I have done previously. They're absolutely horrendous, but you can give the characters different makeup options, you can give them different hairstyles. Obviously here you can see how some of the colors have these little locks here, and some of the colors are available and are unlocked. This, of course, as with many of these games, means that the locked options are locked under microtransactions. And this is a game for children, so I always have mixed feelings regarding microtransactions, but it does say, at least sometimes when you click on them, to ask for parental permission.
This item is not available right now. Ask a grown-up for approval to unlock it.
Unlocking the bundle costs 15 euros, and the interesting thing about this was that it seemed to be perfectly possible to unlock the bundle. There didn't seem to be any technical issues despite the fact that the game is no longer available, and I was actually very tempted to make the purchase just to see if it would go through and if it would unlock everything in the game and if it would charge me. I didn't want to do it in this game and I ended up not doing it for any of the others as well so far, but I am tempted to do it with my favorite of the free games we're covering. So this is actually a mini series. We're covering 3 different Ever After High games. In this video I'm gonna cover 2 of them, and in the next one I'm gonna cover my favorite. I did ask you guys over on YouTube and Tumblr whether you would like this to be 1 long video or 2 medium length videos or 3 medium length videos, and the responses were mixed and pretty even. Based on my experience, these medium length videos tend to do better on my channel, so that's what I'm doing. Here you can see the free outfit options. I'm obviously styling Apple White. I'm styling her in a very gothic Raven way. She's sort of trying on Raven style, you might say. And you can tell that there's a limited amount of options. Because you can color all of the skirts, you do actually have quite a lot of options. But the skirt styles, you only have a couple to choose from and all of the other ones are locked. But you can add these patterns to them as well. Once you've picked your style and color, you can add these little stamps, and I do think that they look kind of kitschy and not very nice, to be honest. It's difficult to come up with a actually good looking cute design. You can obviously just recreate the style from this series, but creating a cute style with these stamps I think was quite difficult. But I don't know, maybe I just suck at styling games. So then you can also have them wear different tights. Again, the selection is quite limited. Most of the options are actually locked. And if you have played with the colors of the skirt and the top a lot, you might struggle finding boots and shoes and tights that actually match. And then you can also play with head accessories, and you can actually accessorize the head accessories further and add little gems and little sparkles. So I would say that this is a very run-of-the-mill usual dress-up game. Nothing really different, nothing really shocking. Here you can see the final outfit I gave Apple. If you haven't styled the characters yet, then they're in this sort of nice frame thing, and I think they actually look better like that. You can see I did a horrible outfit for Maddie, but once you have styled them once, you can see them in your latest outfit that you styled them in, and then you can redo the styling. Obviously you can of course always reset all of your apps as well in the settings, I think, but basically once you have played it, the little profile picture does change. Then I decided to style Raven next. And yeah, once again, you can see the same thing. You do her makeup, you do her hair. As for the sound, you can tell that the Apple voice actor is doing the voiceover for the game, and she's basically praising your every decision, saying how nice it looks, how fun it looks, how cute it looks. Obviously, there's lots of Ever After High themed puns. Yeah, I'll play you a little bit of the audio so that you can enjoy it and hear her.
Now it's time for a spellbinding dress. Great choice. Magical. Perfect. Well done. Perfect. This item is not available right now. Ask a grown-up for approval to unlock it. Now it's time for a spellbinding dress. Royally cool. Amazing. Next up, a skirt to match your top. Perfect!
Also, you might have noticed that I guess they ran out of background music. So the background music just sort of runs out, but when you go back to the main menus, it starts playing it again. And there are these extra accessories like capes and these sorts of skirt overlays that you can use, but these are all locked, so you can't actually use any of them unless you pay for them, basically. So this is Ever After High Charm style, and I don't think there is anything more to really say about the game. Obviously, if I did all of the microtransactions, there would be more stuff for you to play with, more clothes, more backgrounds, more accessories, but I don't think it really changes the gameplay fundamentally. So for that reason as well, I didn't really see the point in doing the microtransactions, not for a YouTube video, not for myself, because it really just doesn't add that much to the game. It doesn't change the gameplay fundamentally. So let's have a look at another Ever After High game. This one starts with the Princesses Are Powerful theme song, like a little bit of the theme song, a little tidbit. And in this game you can explore the Ever After High school. The background music is mostly music. There's no Apple VA or any of the VAs telling you what to do. You will just sort of have a look around the school and explore it. And there are many different mini games in this game. One of them is a make a scene game, and I absolutely loved games like this as a kid. I would have adored this game as a kid. There were games like this on the Mattel website when I was a kid, and I was always a massive fan of them. You place characters in different settings. and you can also place furniture and things, and here the characters are animated as well, which I think is super cool. I absolutely loved these kinds of make a scene games as a kid. I even still have one of the Winx party apps, which is very similar in concept and has a very similar game in it. One thing I will say that is a downside of this particular version is that there seems to be no way to delete any of the stuff you place on the scene. So basically, if you add something by accident, like I added another raven by accident, or I just wanted to see if it would add another raven, and it would, but then you just couldn't delete any of the ravens or any of the other characters. So if you accidentally add too many things to the scene, you basically have to start over. Then another thing they have is a coloring book, basically. Here the first coloring sheet you see is Apple, and I was playing this on my iPhone SE, which is quite an old phone, the first generation iPhone SE. But to be fair, like, this game is also old, but I would say that this game would work better on an iPad. It might be easier to paint or with a stylus, because I really struggled, and I have small fingers, it's not that hard for me, but I really struggled, and I felt like it wouldn't have been possible to color it neatly really without a stylus or without it being on an iPad. Maybe it would have been a better experience on an iPad. You can also see that a lot of the colors and the sparkly things are locked, and of course a lot of the coloring sheets are locked as well, and you can unlock them in the store. There are different coloring sheets that you can unlock, so there are still options there for you. It's not just Apple, there are others, but again, here there are loads of microtransactions for you to unlock. This mini game also has different ways to color the images, but also little stickers that you can add to your colored image. It's nothing super special. Again, we've seen these kinds of games. The art pack at the store that unlocks all of the stuff in the coloring game costs €3. So if you would like to unlock it, that's how much it costs. There are different little packs for each of the mini games, and the game does seem to have some sort of a security measure to prevent little kids from emptying up their parents' wallets. There are these little math challenges that you have to solve, but I feel like the math challenge isn't that complicated and the kid could solve it reasonably, so I don't know how much safer it will actually make the entire thing. Also, in the corner of this game, you can constantly see this heart with little numbers. These are charms that you can collect throughout playing the little mini games, and sometimes you can use charms to unlock some of the things. Moving on to another mini game. This is a puzzle game where you need to find all of the little items on the image, and I actually find these super difficult sometimes, and as you can see, I was struggling a little bit with finding some of the stuff. There is a hint bag as well in the corner there, so it will give you a little hint, and then you can unlock the next level and play the next level and look for the other things in the other pictures. And it will tell you to ask for a hint once it sees that you're just tapping around the screen randomly. It will tell you that, hey, maybe you need a hint. So you can't just tap around super randomly. I would also say that sometimes it didn't really work super well. Like, I would see the thing and I would tap on it multiple times and it didn't register, even though I had technically found it. So sometimes it wasn't just me struggling to find it, sometimes it was just the game not responding super well. But yeah, I think that you can all sort of understand the gist of this game. This is the sort of game that I think adults might also enjoy. I feel like these sorts of puzzle mini games are kind of enjoyable as an adult as well. But yeah, once you unlock each of the scenes, you move on to the next one. You can unlock the next one. I didn't unlock all of them for this video. I hope you're not too disappointed about it. I just didn't have the patience to unlock all of them. But it does save once you close the app and open it again, so that's really, really nice. And I would also say that I don't really feel like the levels actually get that much harder. Like, I felt like this level was actually somewhat easier than the previous levels, so it's not like they get progressively harder, at least based on my experience. I also feel like when you're doing these kinds of puzzle games and quizzes and things in general, it's hard to make things harder because different things are hard for different people. But I personally felt like the puzzles weren't really getting harder. I do think that this sort of difficulty can be subjective, but to me personally, it seemed that they weren't getting any harder based on my experience. So you can tell me if you have a different experience when you either used to play this game or still play this game if you have it on your phone. So that was the Epic Winter game, which means that this game was updated until the Epic Winter part. And then there are also puzzles. Puzzles are pretty much exactly what it says on the tin. They're puzzles. You can see the different artworks here. You can unlock the entirety of the puzzle collection for €3. Similarly to some of the other mini games, there is a puzzle pack that you can unlock. And you can also here, you can see you can use charms to unlock some of the puzzles. So not all of these things are unlockable by paying real money. Some of them are unlockable by paying in charms. So the charms do actually have a use, even though it would be nice if you could unlock everything via gameplay. I always really prefer that, but it is nice that you can unlock some of the things via gameplay. Once you pick a puzzle, you choose the difficulty, and I picked the easy one for Raven, and as you can see, it really was easy. You even see the picture underneath and you follow it. And then I chose the hard level just to see how hard it actually is, and it was actually pretty hard. I'm actually pretty embarrassed to say that I couldn't figure out a way to rotate these puzzle pieces. Like, you obviously have to rotate them somehow, because they're not rotated correctly. And I could not for the life of me figure out how to do that. So I just didn't get past the hard difficulty level, because I couldn't figure out how to rotate these puzzle pieces. There are some of them that don't need rotating, and if you get like the hint bag, I was hoping it will help me out, like telling me how to rotate and stuff. No, it just takes one of the pieces and puts it in the correct spot. So yeah, I would say that the hard level is actually pretty hard, especially because I couldn't figure out how to rotate the pieces. I'm sure there is a way, but I tried and I just could not figure it out, and I'm really embarrassed to say that, but I just couldn't figure it out. There's not like a rotate button. I felt like you couldn't rotate them with your fingers. So that's the puzzle portion of the game. Then there's the Who's Who section, and this might be because the game is so old. This might be because the last update that the game had wasn't correctly updated. But to me, the Who's Who section is just an empty storybook, and there's nothing there. I waited quite a while for it to load, and nothing happened. It's just literally an empty storybook. I even tried restarting the game and trying again to see if it works, and still I got the same result. Maybe if I reset the game, it does have settings, so maybe if I reset it, but I'm really skeptical. I also tried the game out on my new iPhone, and it does work on there as well, and I did some screen recordings so that you can see that it does work. But I will say, because the game was designed so long ago, it works in a really strange way. It doesn't go on full screen, and it's really hard to get out of the game. You can't swipe up the way you can normally with apps and just close it. You need to lock your phone and pick another app, and then you can get out of the app. But there isn't like an organic way to get out of the app, because the app was developed such a long time ago, and you kind of get stuck on it. Then there's also this video section, which doesn't work either. It doesn't work on my new phone, it didn't work on my old phone. These videos will just stay loading, and actually, because I was messing around with the app in my new phone, it totally crashed. Like, it just completely stopped functioning at some point. I couldn't click on anything. It just fully crashed, so I had to restart the app. So this video section sadly doesn't work anymore either. Maybe it's connected to some internet server that just doesn't exist anymore. It just keeps loading and loading and loading and you can't watch any of the videos. Then there's the Magic Mirror section, which is another dress-up game. Again, you can see most of the characters are locked under in-app purchases and you can only choose Apple or Raven. And here you can dress Apple and Raven in different outfits. Most of Apple's and Raven's outfits are unlocked, and even some of the other characters' outfits are unlocked. You can choose their hairstyles, you can choose their hair accessories. This one I feel like has a lot less choices than the Charmed Style one, but the Charmed Style one is a whole game just dedicated to the dress-up aspect of the game, so it's kind of understandable. You can also unlock some of the things by using charms, like I did here. So I actually used some of the charms to make sure that it does work and unlocked some outfits. I also felt like this was the kind of part of the game where I would use the charms naturally as well, and I also just wanted to see if that aspect worked. So I unlocked some of the things using the charms, and you can unlock some parts of the gameplay using the charms. Then you pick a background for your outfit and you can actually take a photo there in the corner and it will save it to your photos. It will ask you if you'd like to do that and then it will save it to your photos and you can look at it and like use it as your phone background if you want and all of that stuff. It's just a normal picture in your Photos app now. And I also dressed up Raven. Again, I think the Charmed Style is better in terms of a dress-up game, and I feel like they might have even reused some of the assets, but this game does have clothes from the later movies as well, whereas I feel like the Charmed Style didn't. But the outfits are nice, it's just very simplistic and a lot of it is locked. But it's a game that's aimed at girls, so I guess we have to have a dress-up aspect. We can't just not have a dress-up aspect. And as much as I'm roasting it, I don't actually mind the dress-up aspect. I like dress-up games quite a lot. I enjoyed them a lot as a kid, maybe not as much now as an adult, but I still kind of enjoy them, to be honest. So I don't have anything against the dress-up aspect. I would just say that this Charmed Style game is better in these regards. Going back to the shop section, earlier I noticed a shop for dolls tag, and I'm sure you noticed it as well. And obviously I had to click on it and find out what's under the shop for dolls tag. And it's just a broken Amazon link, I'm sorry to say. I was hoping it will be something cooler. Again, I don't think the security for grown-ups is that secure because it's a pretty easy thing to solve. I feel like children would be able to solve it. But yeah, it's just a broken Amazon link. I assume at one point they had ever after high listings there, but not anymore. I felt like I hadn't shown you guys enough of the Make a Scene game. I felt like there were a lot of options in that game, a lot of different scenes, a lot of different characters, and it actually depended on the scene you picked, which characters you would be able to place on the scene and what their animations would be, and what furniture and other accessories you would be able to place on that scene. And once you picked a new scene or a new background, you would start from scratch and you couldn't transfer any of the characters from the other scene to the next scene, which maybe is a little sad, but I also understand what they're going for. You can create a sort of scene. I mean, the game is called Make a Scene, so you can make a scene from that movie or that episode or that part of the series. It has different Ever After High movies, which I think is really cool. I think it's cool that there's variety. I think it's cool that they haven't deleted the older Make a Scenes and you can sort of see the whole history of Ever After High movies in this game. There's Epic Winter, there's Dragon Games, there's Way to Wonderland. I would say that some of the scenes look way nicer than others. Like the scenes where you have animated characters are definitely cooler and look cooler and feel more fun to play with than the ones where the characters are just static. But you can also save all of these Make a Scene scenes that you make on your phone as a photo. Again, it's just a normal photo file. If it's animated, then I don't think it animates. I'm pretty sure it's just a photo file. Also, this game never has any voiceovers. It has no character voiceovers, no characters telling you, oh, you did so good, spelltastic, fantastic, all of that. And honestly, I kind of like that. I feel like even as a child, it would have annoyed me if someone was constantly talking. Like with the Charmed style game, it kind of gets annoying that Apple talks all the time, and if you press a lot of buttons, you just end up with this mush of her speaking, of her starting lines and not finishing them because you're already picking another thing and she starts another line, and you know what I'm talking about, and it's just a little bit annoying. So honestly, I don't mind that this game doesn't have voice actors. It does feel like maybe it has a little bit of a lower budget because of that, because they don't have to pay the voice actors to do the lines, but it kind of makes for a more chill, relaxed gaming experience. And no one is constantly talking your ear off, which is actually kind of enjoyable. I'll play you some of the background audio. So it's different music, but it's constantly this sort of mellow instrumental music and no one is talking, and I do actually like that. Also, if you're wondering what's in the news section, nothing. That's just one of the parts of the games that remains undeveloped forever, it seems. So with that, we have covered the first two Lost Ever After High games, Charmed Style, and the other one, which doesn't seem to have a name, it's just an Ever After High game. Princesses Are Powerful, maybe? It's just, the app is just called Ever After High. Did you play these games as a kid? Do you still have these games on your phone? Do you remember these games? Let me know in the comments below, and in the next episode, in the part 2 of this series, we will cover my favorite Lost Ever After High game, the Tea Party Dash. I'm definitely leaving the best for the last. So if you don't want to miss it, make sure to hit subscribe, hit the bell icon so YouTube notifies you, and leave this video a like as well. I would really like this video to do well because it took me a while to edit and make, and I'm really hoping that you guys are gonna enjoy it. Leave me a comment down below if there was anything else you would have liked to know or see in these games that I didn't show you that doesn't include in-app purchases, and I'll see you in another video. Bye!